Welcome back. I hope you're going to stay around to see how to make this little shelf. So this little kit came with this big piece, which became the back. Then are two shorter ones and two longer ones, and you'll see why. And it came with this bit, which is the center of the post of the bird feeder. So we're not going to use it now. Hang on, we'll be using it afterwards for something else, another project. And these two bits, which are great. This wood is really fantastic for the price that you pay at the dollar store. You're going to use one of them to make shelves, a little tray out of one, or you can use as a little chopping board, a little display board with, you know, your baking goods or whatever it is. So first of all, we are going to need to assemble the box, which becomes the shelf. Now you also see that this round bit here, and there's a toothpick, that's an addition, and I can talk to you about that afterwards. You don't have to do it, it's not part of the kit either. I'm going to take the two long ones and the two short ones. So we're going to glue this side and this side. Okay, so we're going to just put a little glue along there, and then you're going to put it on the other side. Okay, there we go, on both sides. So we're going to plunk this here, and we're going to take the two short bits, okay, and you're going to take one, place it up against it, and tighten it really nicely. Then you go to the other side. You might want to wait a couple minutes before your glue sets. So now it will be perfectly matched on that end, this, that. Okay. So we have this last one that's going to go here. I'm going to take the other side, push it up against the jig, and there you go. And you want to now, I use a tiny bit of tape, does not have to be painter's tape, just happen to be the one that I have, and I'm going to just put it on the corners and press hard so that it helps to stick. Handle it a little bit better. You know what? I think I'm going to put one right there, because I see that it wants to open up in the center. So I'm going to take from here, and what I'm doing is I'm pressing it and I'm pulling on it and getting it down there like that. So it closes it off on the inside. And I see I'm going to need one going the opposite way. Nice and tight, and the glue has now squished itself out a little bit. Okay. Okay, now you're going to want to cut the shelves. Okay, so this is actually 1.6 centimeters, and I'm going to cut the shelf at 1.5 centimeters. 0.5. I'm going to cut one, and I'm going to use a metal ruler and your blade, nice sharp blade, and you're going to just cut it a few times, just score it. This one is really easy to cut because you're actually cutting with the grain. So for now, let me stop here, and I'm going to get some of the molding and show you how to cut the molding to put on the front of that once it's dry. And now we're going to apply the trim. Now I'm not going to use this fancy, this is a picture trim. Not everybody has this, and it tends to be expensive, but I think that most of you have seen these. You go to the coffee shops and they'll provide you with one of these. So bring them home, wash them up. I have over years, and then I decided, because I do use them a lot, I actually have a little box. So they're just the perfect size for this trim, I think. So I'm going to set this aside. Let's talk about this miter box. Let me give you a couple of tips. First of all, you see this little bit inside here? I have put a little bit of wood. It's been in here for a while, and you can see that it has cuts and ridges. Well, this cut and ridges would probably now be on your miter box, because all that it means is that when we use our saw, if the piece of wood that you're cutting is not high enough, you're going to be cutting right down to where, sorry, let's go this way, to where it would hit the metal. So I put this, you can put cardstock as well. I just happen to have wood, and this, as you can see, it's all the times that I actually work or saw all the way down, it's hitting the wood block, or like this, or like so. The other thing is that I've seen these being used on people's desks where it's sitting at an angle, and then your saw is going down like this, hitting your workstation, or you're working this way, and that's not right either, because now you don't have a free handle. So I have this ridge at the bottom here is meant to go on the edge of your table. Now my table that I'm at right now does not have a square edge, it has a rounded edge. So I've gotten this piece of cedar, and as you can see, I've used it to prop it up there, and it's big enough that it's stable. So now you're level with your work. You're going to be cutting in 45s in order to give you this nice corner here. That's called a 45. And all it is 45 degrees. So you're going to be using this way, and you're going to also be using the saw this way. You're going to need 4 of these. I'm going to cut a piece that will go on a 45 degree. That's going to go from here to there. You see it? Okay. Now to do that, just take your first one. So cut one side. All right, like so, and you have one cut. Going to match this cut with this top piece, and you're going to go in that indent there. Going to put it on, and you're going to then, see if you can see it better this way. You're going to mark this inside here. Mark it right there. That's going to be your cutting line that you're going to be cutting for the other side. But you've done one side this way, so now this one is going to be cut this way. That gives you this. Okay, so one was cut this way, like so, and then when you measured off, you cut it the other way on the measurement that you did. So now you have the top piece, and I like to cut one piece on both sides. So now that you have the top piece, you're going to cut the next one to match this angle, and that's simply taking your miter box again, bringing it over here, and now this one, it's easy to do because there's no pattern on either side, so you can do it this way or that way, it doesn't matter. So you're going to bring it over and just arbitrarily cut the little bit off. Okay, you're going to go over there and cut, and you got yourself this. So now you have this side and this side, and they should be nice. If your miter box is cutting properly, it should meet nicely. So once you have the top and the side, now you're going to have another cut to do on the bottom here. And you're going to measure where it meets here in the center. I'm going to cut there. You're going to go, because now you have this one, so now you need to cut this side. You have one facing this way, now you need to have one facing that way. So you're going to put it into your miter box. You're going to see where that little measurement was, or that little dot I put in there, and you're going to cut it. You have two, one top and one bottom. Okay, and now you're going to need another side, and for the other side, oops, let's do this, top and the bottom, and then you're going to cut another one for the, going to do the same thing. Going to measure it off, mark it off, not measure, but mark it off, mark this angle, and then mark the other angle, and you cut these two. The key thing is to make sure that your saw is sharp. A bit of a dry run, two, and this is the bottom and the side. Okay, so let's do it here. Let's do it here. Okay. And with mine, remember, I put in this tape, this paper tape. Let's do a nice little face on here with these little sticks. So on one side, take off the round, measure over here where it would be. Okay, and now you're going to use your miter to just cut a straight line. So remember, the shelves are recessed a little bit, so there's room to insert this piece of wood, and it's still below the side. Okay, so that's one. Cut another one just like it, and I'm going to put the little piece on there. Press. That's one, and now you have the other one. That's coming up next, the next video. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Now for the fun part. Sometimes it could be fun putting these together. Sometimes it goes nice and smooth. So put some glue on here. Now try to do this step as quick as you can, so that if there's any adjustment of the corners that need to be made, the glue is still movable, right? So if you find that your edges, they don't meet very nicely, you can always fix that. A good thing to do if you want to fill that in, if you don't have wood filler, here's another little hint. You see how I've made a little bit of sawdust here? Take your sawdust, which came from the same wood, okay? And now you're going to take a little bit of the glue, and you're going to make a little paste, and you can simply fill in your edge, your bit that's showing. Fill it in now. Take off the excess glue. Wood filler can be a bit costly. And now you have it here. Now this one is barely, doesn't really need it. See, let's try this one here. I think you can see that this is a hairline joint that really doesn't need to be fixing, because the once you sand it and you paint it, it'll fix itself up. Okay, and then we'll sand that off, and we're good to go. Now, as far as the other bit, as far as this is concerned, you wouldn't believe this, but I found smaller ones and I found the large ones. So if you wanted to use, if you wanted to do this, I've used a medium size. Obviously, I've used a medium size one here. But even if you wanted to use this big one, if you didn't have the other side, it's not a bad look. If you want to glue it onto that side, cut it flush up here. I mean, it does jet out a little bit on the back, but it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be glued against the wall anyway. And then you have the round. See? Take a skewer once you do both sides. So do one side, do the other side, and then take a skewer and you simply fit it into the end. Maybe you might want to make a little hole here just so that it can go through. And that's a nice finish. These craft sticks are really nice. So you could add your little towel holder, however long you might want, like that. Now, I'm not going to finish this with the paint or anything. I'm going to leave this one as is, and I'll probably just finish it with a dye, a stain of some sort, because this one was done in white. And this one I'll do with a wood dye or wood stain. Once it's sanded all nicely, I think that's a done deal. Hope you enjoyed it. That's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We still have one more project to do using the bits from this bird feeder. And that will be using this. And I think you can guess what this is going to be. Thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.